Today I'm going to show you the beginning of our garden makeover. We live in Wales and bought our first house just last year. We moved in September 2022 and the first thing we did, literally the first thing we did, was to take up the astroturf. This is how it looked to begin with. Obviously there's a lot of care for nature here. There was lavender and pots everywhere which the seller kindly left us. And the hedge looking thing growing over the fence is actually a cherry tree gone rogue, but we had to remove that as it was putting too much pressure on the wall and it was buckling a little bit. There's also a pond and there's some incredible trees just beyond the boundary, and it's set on a steep hill, so there's lots of wilderness just beyond the bottom of the garden, mostly thorns which we're clearing as well. But I suppose the reason why we're putting this on YouTube is because loads of gardens these days have awful astroturf and we really hate it. Not only is it no good for the environment, but it's more plastic pollution, and it's people have to maintain it in quite odd ways. You have to hoover it. I've seen neighbours hoovering theirs or using leaf blowers to kind of get all the grit out that won't go through. It also causes problems with flooding because you don't have that kind of permeable membrane, especially if someone's got a front garden with astroturf and concrete driveway and no trees or any roots or anything to help soak up water, and then they get surprised that they have flooding issues. But the real reason for us is as you can see from this incredible view, the reason we picked this place is because we're in, kind of south to mid Wales. It's it feels quite rural, and we're right in the middle of a valley, so you can see all that incredible stuff in the background. And nature's in trouble. It really is. We're not exaggerating when we say we're in a nature crisis. We've lost so much, and when it comes to grass in particular, and meadows and diverse meadows, not just kind of monoculture green lawn, it's actually, we've lost 97% of meadows across the UK in the last 50 or so years. And we need the stuff that relies on that. We need the insects, we need the bees. Most importantly for humans, we need bees to pollinate everything, and it's a very scary prospect to live in a world without bees. And in our last house, although we rented, we had a great landlord who would let us kind of do what we want to an extent to the garden, not ripping up things like this. But we stopped mowing the lawn, and we actually got a scythe and started scything it, which is a little bit more eco-friendly and a bit easier. Just do it twice a year, and we had this beautiful soft lawn with so many crazy things in it, so much grass, mayflowers, we had grasshoppers and all kinds of insects, we had lavender coming out the sides, and yeah, it was really rewarding to slowly bring that lawn back and bring it back into good health. And the thing is, when you have a good lawn, it's a good habitat for the insects to live in. That's the bedrock of a healthy food chain. If you have the lawn, you have the flowers. If you have the flowers, you have the insects. If you have the insects, you have everything that eats those insects. You have bats and birds. You have owls flying overhead. You have all sorts of wonderful things that just come to your garden. You don't really need to encourage them. You don't need bird feeders. There's natural food for them.
Do you want me to actually come help with this bit?
Yeah. So that was pretty easy, right? Especially for me, just filming my partner doing all the hard work. This is it rolled up. It's pretty heavy, it's pretty scratchy, the underside of it, but otherwise it's fairly simple. You just have to do it slowly and carefully. The most important thing is, before we started having it all rolled up, is taking those pins out. As you can see in this freeze frame, it's got pins every few inches all along the edges. You want to make sure they come out cleanly. You don't want bits of metal breaking off in your soil. But now that we've got rid of the thing, I know what the most important question on your minds is. I know what you're thinking. What was underneath? I'd do a drum roll effect, but I'm still learning how to do movie editing, so. I mean, I'll give you a clue, it's soil. Ba-da! Totally lovely, dense soil. Not even in particularly bad quality. In fact, it's really lovely, dense stuff. Obviously, it's been compacted for several years, but otherwise, this is what we've got, and we couldn't be happier. The worst thing we could have found was some kind of gravel or concrete underneath, someone not laying the turf properly, and not caring for the foundation. But oh hey, this is it at night, because you know things look slightly different at night. We're really pleased, and we're going to keep uploading videos showing you progress every few months. So watch this space. We'll also try to do some in different weather and showing different things we plant. Hey, this is it in some snow. Well, frost. The snow came later. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Thank you for looking at our garden.